left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have, look at that, two very classy players wishing each other good luck. Coming out from the land of Poland, our blue Protoss player, representing Storm Gaming, he is Gerald.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Russian Zerg player. He is red, representing his brand new team, Good Game Gaming. It is Vanya.
Probably one of the most surprising pickups, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
but I'm glad. Personally,
yeah, there were some player swaps a couple of weeks ago as World Team League was coming back for its next season. And yeah, a couple of players were dropped, a couple of others were picked up. Very, as you said, like it's a pickup that we never expected, especially because like looking at the logo, like they were very iconic for their 3 players.
Exactly. It seemed like for the longest time they just didn't want to have a Zerg player in there, but in the end, you have to have at least some kind of distribution.
Yeah, I have to wonder if they would adjust their team, especially because like Patience is inactive now. Like he's not.
They may.
He is like unofficially retired, so would they replace it or would they keep it in honor of him? I kind of like
Stalker in honor of him.
Yeah.
Every time a player blinks, man, you know that it's in honor of Patience. Every time Haas blinks his stalkers, it's in honor of Patience.
Exactly. Even though Haas is not on Good Game Gaming, but sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's on prep. Yeah. I meant nice. The other Taiwanese player.
The other one, mate. The other
Taiwanese player, yep.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. As we are getting into this PvZ, our second one of the night, we were lucky enough to cast for Jumi versus Stefano, which personally I did enjoy, but I do believe that we're going to get a very different kind of ZVP here.
Yeah, look, for Jumi versus Stefano, that was Western Europe. That was Germany versus France. That was, we are going to be patient, we're going to be efficient. We're in the East now. It's crazy town.
I was about to say, tread carefully, Yaku. I didn't know where the hell you were going with that, mate. Oh my god. Like, the Slavic nations, they're at it again, mate. Oh my god.
That's a thing? Anyway, Gerald, to no surprise really, is opening up with his Stargate.
Yeah, here we go. We do have that Stargate opening from Gerald. Meanwhile, our eyes are on Vanya. How is he going to approach this? Again, it's been a while. It's been quite some time since we've had the privilege of casting Vanya. Does he want to look towards the late game like Stefano did on Romanticide, or is he looking to end it early with a Queen Walk?
That's usually what I would anticipate from a player like Vanya. He's even setting up the launch pad here by the 3rd base. But I do kind of feel like, he might need to add a little bit of a twist to it. Gerald, no doubt, is fairly used to Queen Walks by this point.
Yeah, everyone is, mate. It's like, back in the day, everyone was used to Glaive Adepts, and everyone was used to defending against them. Same can be said for these Queen Walks in the current meta. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on some tech. We'll see if, a Roach Warren gets thrown down when Vanya does stop droning. If he does go towards a lair or not, that will all indicate whether or not he intends the game to go on a little bit longer. Meanwhile, ooh, nice catch. The Lings do get us around on the Adept.
Yeah, able to take out one of them.
Oh.
Even if this Adept... Oh, it does survive.
Not for long.
Not anymore. And fortunately, there wasn't enough of a hole here. Or a wall here, sorry, still a little bit of a hole, and Vanya is able to sneak in and is able to get a very, very good scout.
Yeah, unfortunately the Twilight Council gets thrown down after the Lings get killed, but I mean, props to Gerald for doing that. Gerald even not allowing that to be scouted as he is transitioning from a Stargate opener into a Twilight Council.
There we go. See if he decides to be the aggressor this game. I guess that will depend a lot on what he scouts. If he knows that Vanya is going to come at him, he knows he's going to have to defend and then go for the counterattack. If not, then we've seen it a lot. The Protoss player decides to take matters into their own hands and move across the map with a Warp Prism really quick.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised, right? Like, especially because we have that commitment, and there it is. We are going to be seeing a Glaive Adept follow-up from Geralt. We've seen this time and time again. If this goes unscouted, this could deal a lot of damage.
And even if it gets scouted, it can still do a lot of damage if If the Zerg player is looking away too long.
Oh, God. Speaking of, these two Adepts, like, Glaves hasn't even finished. It only just started, and already 8, 9 drones are going down, and more.
The Warp Prism comes in to clean up what's left.
Ugh.
11 drones. Not a good start at all for our red Zerg player.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately for Vanya, like, even though he had Ling speed, he didn't have the little Lings because he sent them across the map earlier, and he never remade them. Because of that, those Adepts got out of control. The Void Ray came in and as well as the Oracle to help assist, and now he's trying to go into a Spire. Interesting location for it. So far, it has gone unscouted. Oh, the Void Ray!
Hiding in plain sight. The Void Ray does get taken out. Gerald, his attention elsewhere for just a little too long, but I think he can get away with that. Glaves is about to finish up.
Oh my god, Gerald, wall off, please, Jesus! For the second time here, the Lings do slip into the natural base. They will go into the main, and by going into the main, he will confirm the upgrades on the Twilight Council as well as the follow-up double Stargate.
In addition to the first Stargate, yeah.
But
Gerald just really doesn't want Vanya to get comfortable with whatever tech choice he makes.
Yeah, the problem is that this was scouted, but this was scouted as it was happening. The Adepts are already here across the map. 10 workers are going down. More are going to go down as well. One of the Queens was focused by the Adepts as well, and this is devastating damage.
Shading back and forth so well. Every time it looks like the Adepts are starting to get thinned out, the Oracle or the Void Ray comes back in and cleans up whatever injured drones remain. 22 have now gone down for Vanya in this single assault. 33 throughout this entire game. Vanya really needs to pull the trigger right now and get some equalizing damage.
He does, and I don't know if he will. The problem is that, like, his ace up his sleeve was this Spire, and it was scouted. It was hiding in plain sight. As you said, he's going across the map with his Roaches and his Lings, but you know what, mate? We have triple Stargate production. We have Void Rays.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Gerald didn't waste his time getting Phoenixes. He didn't overreact to scouting that Spire. He knows there are Roaches on the ground right now. That's what could kill me. I'll worry about potential Mutalisks later on.
Exactly. Like, he knows he crippled the economy. He knows Vanya could not afford to go into all those Mutas. And as a result, he is ready. And, yo, now that he has enough Void Rays to defend against the Roaches, we have those Phoenixes.
Yeah. Vanya alive for long enough, eventually he's going to get some Mutalisks out. And Gerald just keeping himself one step ahead. Not able to get as much damage this time, but still 5 drones after all of the drones that he's been able to kill so far this game.
I'm afraid, but I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna look at the units lost, and 39 drones have gone down this game. 39. That's like almost as many workers as you make in a regular game.
Look, I'm tired. I can get away with it because of mules.
Mules, mate. Mules. We don't need workers. It's fine. True. Meanwhile, we do have the Voiders across the map to force a cancel on the 4th base. A bit of a Ling run by. Nicely done, but unfortunately, there's a shield battery, so the Lings don't really get too much damage whatsoever. Adepts continue to shade in, and unfortunately, the Lings are across the map.
Even more drone damage this game. You do not want to be... I was going to say you don't want to be a worker, but the probes have mostly kept alive throughout this entire game. You don't want to be a drone this game, is what you don't want to be.
Yeah, meanwhile...
getting targeted down.
Yeah, it does survive, though. Meanwhile, the Adepts get back into the main base. More workers go down, more lost mining time. They will eventually be cleaned up, but again, Gerald has just been pulling Vanya apart left and right. Would you finally have some Corruptors coming out, some more reliable anti-air? Gerald, mate, he just recalls. He goes back home. He's good.
Yeah. I'll say that Vanya has done a really good job of catching back up on the worker count, but again, when you look at these 53 drones, they were all larvae at one point. Larvae that could have been Lings or Roaches or Corruptors. So Vanya is getting himself back in this game, but he's not thriving like he could be.
There's still no spore in the main, Yaku. There's still no spore in the main.
I don't think he can afford a spore. He needs to cut corners, yeah.
More drones are going down left and right. Finally, the Corruptor show up, but 10 more drones went down, Yaku.
Less than ideal.
Oh god, just Vanya's really struggling here. As you were saying, like, sure, he's trying to keep up when it comes to the workers, but at the end of the day, he's spending money on workers when he should be spending money on tech, on upgrades, on army. At a certain point, Gerald is just gonna have too much, and he's just gonna roll over Vanya.
I don't know if I want to even look at the workers active tab after this game, or graph after this game.
Oh no.
Because my heart is just gonna sink as Vanya, Gerald, sorry, gets even more drone kills despite the Spore Crawler.
Exactly. I just love that he found use for these Phoenixes. Again, originally these Phoenixes were meant to deal with the mutas, but the mutas never came. So at least they're still able to get into Mineral Lines, still get some workers. Eventually they will be shut down, but yo, they more than paid for themselves.
Definitely. There's a lot of utility on Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Not gonna be as relevant in this particular game, but you know, if Vanya somehow is able to seek out a couple of infestors, and you know, even still, they can lift him up or something.
He can do whatever he wants, mate. At this point,
Pretty much.
The fight doesn't
Vanya's,
even happen.
Yeah, Vanya notices his army supply, notices Gerald's, decides, I cannot tangle with that. He made 161 drones throughout the entire game. That's a feels bad.
That is a pretty massive feels bad. Oh boy. I don't know what else there is to say there. I mean, what I will say is that I imagine Vanya assumed that Geralt was going to do Protoss things and go double Stargate Void Ray. As we saw, like, the Twilight Council wasn't scouted until it was far too late, and there was nothing to stop those Adepts. And to be fair, remember, even before the Glaive Adepts, 2 Adepts got, like, well, almost 10 worker kills. Like, it was insane.
Before Glaives, and then I think it was a Void Ray at this time, came back in and just got even more. Really just felt like Vanya could never get comfortable in that entire game because, well, that's kind of what happened. Geralt controlled the pace of the game start to finish.
100%.
Vanya was just along for the ride.
I'm personally, I'm really surprised at how that turned out. I also, coming into this, did favor Vanya. But game 1,
I did, but admittedly, I'm a little bit biased.
True. We are biased. We are a little bit. We are massive Vanya fans here. So Geralt, a very strong showing here in game 1. Can he replicate that in game numero dos?
I'm definitely very optimistic for him, and I guess now's as good a time as any to mention that this series is much more important to Geralt than it is to Vanya. Sure, if Vanya isn't exactly at the top of his group, but he's top 4 for now. If Geralt wins this, I believe Vanya dips down to the top 5. Geralt will be right at his heels at number 6. If my math checks out, which it may or may not. As we continue the series on Blackburn LE, we're over in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. We have the blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Poland. He is representing Psystorm Gaming. He is Gerald.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Russian Zerg player. He is red, representing his brand new team, Good Game Gaming. It is Vanya.
I believe in the ace match potential, personally, but we are on Blackburn, and we know how well Gerald is able to utilize even Glaiveless Adepts. Things aren't really looking up too well for Vanya.
Yeah, they're nuts. They're nuts. At least after game number 1. We'll see if he can, again, change our minds here on Blackburn. Obviously, Blackburn does lean towards a very different style of play, so maybe Vanya can be a little bit more aggressive, you know, be more what he is known for. Meanwhile, I do want to give a bit of a shout out here to Adam Protoss in the chat, because I didn't even realize this, but he's correct. On Wikipedia, Good Game Gaming, they actually do have a new logo that incorporates the Zerg for Vanya.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's looking very stylish. A lot less amateurish, like the first logo. Not gonna lie.
Look, the first, it had a certain character to it.
It did. It had a certain charm. It did.
It
have
had
a
heart. Yeah, it had charm. Oh yeah, they got a roach in there.
Yeah, that's a Ling, but sure.
Oh, wait, that's a Ling?
Yeah.
Sure, it's not a roach.
Yeah.
Right, because it has 6 legs.
Yeah.
I don't like this though. There's not just a probe, but also an adept, which I guess is because they have more Protoss players.
Yes. If you remember previously, they only had 3 units on the logo because they only had 3 players. They have since expanded their roster.
That they have. Used to be, what was it, a probe, a stalker, and a marine? Or an SCV.
Yeah, I mean,
like
we can see it right here. It's a probe, a stalker, and a marine.
Oh, there we go.
We have the power.
I mean, it could be an SCV.
Sure. But here we go. We are getting back into this game here. Again, it is really cool that Good Game Gaming, they are appreciative enough to adapt their logo depending on their roster. Again, it shows that they care, and it is a nice little flair to their roster that it is going to be adapting and evolving as their team adapts and evolves.
Yeah, as memey as the name is, I do think that there's definitely a lot of, again, just a lot of charm to a team that clearly cares enough to, as you were saying, just adapt even their logo to make their new players feel a little bit more welcome, I suppose.
It's really cool. Meanwhile, as we get into this game, once again, we do have a Stargate opener, but we do have a commitment into these adepts. So Gerald is still applying that pressure on the ground, despite going for the air when it comes to tech.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't break it.
Okay.
Gerald is looking to probably do a little bit of multi-prong harass here. He's actually sending his adepts home, which I guess is the right choice. His Oracle is making it across the map.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Speedling's going to try and deny this third base. They will get here in time, and sure, the SimCity is good, but there are more than enough Lings to take care of those two adepts.
Yeah, eventually those adepts are going to die, or sooner rather than later, as it turns out.
There we go.
Force a recall. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it only got 2 worker kills. It does recall back home, so it will be able to help defend here. But, yo, the adept is going to go down.
Oh, it is, but a very quick secondary wall comes out from Gerald. The Void Ray comes out just as the Oracle was running out of energy to laser beam. Both players holding without too many losses.
Yeah, very impressive here. I guess from both players. Vanya with the counterattack, alleviating all that pressure. But here we... Oh my god, what? We have double Stargate, which is standard, but we have Phoenix production, which is not.
Huh. This was a PVT, I would not bat an eye, but I don't know, maybe Gerald knows something that we don't. Maybe he knows that Vanya has a tendency to go for Spire plays.
Does he? I'm not entirely convinced that that's not a misclick. Meanwhile, the Lings do get a bit of a surround, but the Oracle is here to help defend. Alright, we have a second Phoenix being made, so I guess this is intentional.
Now let's see misclick twice.
It's possible, no?
3, 4 times. Oh, he misclicked 4 times.
He needs to look at his hotkeys, mate. Something's wrong.
They did give them new accounts, you know.
True. No, but this...
have to check the profiles.
Yeah,
no,
so
this
is
jokes
interesting.
Aside.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, jokes aside, this is interesting, as you were saying.
Yeah. So we have seen Zest came out with this, I think, a month, maybe 2 months ago, and a couple of players have dabbled with this. So the role of these Phoenixes are to pick up the Queens. You pick up the Queens with your Phoenixes, you CC as best you can, and then the ground army alongside Void Rays swoop in, swoop, and just dominate the army and just like roll over the Zerg. It is very positional based, and you have to pick and choose, you know, how you decide to lift things and coordinate well. But yeah, we have seen this. Yeah,
there's also a ratio of Phoenixes to Void Rays and ground units that you definitely need to be aware of. Gerald is fully committed to the Phoenixes for now, though, so maybe a bit of a twist on the Queen pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he's going now, and there are already spores here for the Void Rays, so they're going to help. Yeah, they're going to help with the defense. Hydrogen is already done. The Phoenix is just going to dive straight in, and yo, he's just going for worker kills.
There's no spore crawler in this base.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Gerald lifting one too many drones, so fortunately the Phoenixes aren't able to one-shot them as they would normally like to. But at the end of the day, he still gets 10 drone kills.
Yeah, and we'll see what he can achieve with this, because I feel like he's playing on a knife's edge right now, because Phoenixes are great, you can get a lot of value, you can, you know, kill overlords and pick off units here and there and pick off 10 drones like we just saw. But against like a pure Hydra-based army, like in a head-on engagement, they're not amazing.
Yeah, they definitely aren't, unless you're able to somehow pick up every single Hydra.
Yeah, like if the Hydra numbers are low, then sure, but right now they're not low.
Eventually they will, though, which is why Gerald is switching up his tech. He only recently scouted the Hydras, though, so still going to be a little while before that Robo Bay comes into play.
That's the thing, right? Like, even though these Phoenixes can't fight head-on, they're doing a very good job at keeping the Hydras busy and getting worker kills, giving Gerald the time to transition into Colossus or Disruptors or whatever kind of splash damage unit he wants to work towards.
Funnily enough, in this scenario, either Robo Bay unit would have some effect. Disruptors will... Yeah, I think Disruptors are definitely more effective, but if you want something a little bit more reliable, Hydralisks don't do too well against Colossus.
Exactly, you can go for whatever he wants. Meanwhile, Vanya's trying to catch these Phoenixes, and he will. 2 Phoenixes get picked off.
And a lot of the others get weakened. There's just going to be one less volley from the side of Vanya if those Phoenixes come into play in a big engagement.
And here
Vanya has had enough. He's pulling the trigger.
He is. He's going across the map. The first Disruptor is about to pop out, but they're a little bit late, not gonna lie. So Gerald needs a little bit more time for them. And even then, if he has the Disruptor, like, it's all gonna be about the control and whether or not he can connect.
It's definitely gonna be a big if, but we'll see. Sometimes it only takes one.
God, oh god, oh god. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it does only take one. We have a cancel on the gold base. The Disruptor is headed towards the front line. It goes off and it only connects with a single Hydra. Oh no.
Very nice split there from Vanya. More Disruptors are coming out though. And the original one has gotten Purification Nova off of cooldown. Battery Overcharge being popped. Very juicy connection.
Very juicy indeed.
A couple more of those though.
Yeah, now finally the Phoenixes are utilizing their abilities. They're going to be able to pick up every single one of these Queens. Another Nova goes off, connects with the Queens. Every single one will go down. And with the death of these Queens, I think Gerald may have enough here to push Vanya away.
He definitely does. Barely any transfuses we use in that engagement because of how many high-energy Queens were lifted up by the Phoenixes. Brilliant positional play from Gerald, even fighting right by that shield battery too.
Exactly. There was a window there. There was a timing where maybe Vanya could end the game before there were too many Disruptors, but that window has closed. Geralt is moving out. Ooh, we see a massive Ling run by, and the wall is open!
Recall? Is this going to force a recall?
It does!
It will!
Oh.
A couple of units get picked off in the retreat, though.
Exactly, and the Lings there in the natural and the main base workers are getting picked off, and now Vanya can move on forward with his Hydras and try and pick off these Disruptors.
Man, this is what happens when Vanya doesn't lose 60 workers. He's able to play the game he wants. A decent pick off on a Ravager there, but yeah, very good last-second splitting from Vanya.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Mitigating the damage.
Could have been worse. Meanwhile, the Lings are still dealing damage. The Stalkers, please! Finally, they were left a little bit idle, sleeping on the job. They will respond to those things. Meanwhile, look at how many Disruptors there are. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jesus Christ. A lot is an understatement as they're going off.
Oh, but unfortunately Vanya was not able to kill Disruptors before 2 Purification Novas landed right in the heart of that army. Vanya is still ahead. I still want to give him the edge in the army, but he will have to regroup before re-engaging. Exactly.
Looking at the battle report, 13 Hydras went down to those 2 Novas. Jesus Christ. But you could argue, hey, Vanya at least denied all the mining here in the main base for a very long time, and denied the 4th base for a long time as well.
And he has. Really important to deny a gold base too, but Gerald is able to double expand very, very quickly.
Yeah, and he needs to be fair. Like, he's been stuck on 3 bases for far too long. The double expansion is necessary here. Meanwhile, Vanya is well aware of that, and he's looking to try and deny more of these bases. Oh, but they get spotted by the Phoenixes.
What a Phoenix is gonna do though. The rest of the army is a little ways off. Very quick warp window of Adepts. Okay, that should just about do it. Yep.
With the Adepts.
Rumba gets chased away.
Yeah, they are just enough. Meanwhile, time to look at Vanya here, because we have been looking at Geralt struggle to survive. Finally, the Hive is on the way. The biggest thing that Vanya has been missing, unfortunately, he was stuck on pure Hydra for far too long. He needed Vipers. Vipers would have changed everything. They would have been able to abduct and yoink every single Disruptor and shut it all down. Speaking of shut it all down, finally all the Phoenixes get dealt with, but they got 8 more drone kills.
They did. Although Vanya is still ahead on the worker count, funnily enough.
That he is. But again, he needs more time to get into the Hydra Lurker Viper. Lurker Den just finally finished up, so did the Hive. We're still lacking in upgrades. I also just realized these Hydras have been 0-0 the entire time. Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh.
it shows how committed he was. Like the bases were laid as well. Finally, Vanya gets a 5th base up and running. It just goes to show, like, again, how committed he was with his attack and how devastating it was that he wasn't able to end the game. Storm needs a little bit more, a couple more seconds before it finishes.
Yeah, those Purification Ovas are a fantastic zoning tool, and if they land, they are massive. But Storms are just about going to be the cherry on top here when it comes to AoE for Gerald. You could even get Colossus behind this, but I think that's a little overkill.
Yeah, it's not quite necessary. Meanwhile, oh my god, the Novas go off. Doesn't just kill the Hydras, but also denies the morphing in lurkers.
Yeah, already that's a few less workers Gerald has to worry about, really being annoying by that gold-based location, preventing the mining.
Oh, exactly.
As that Warprism stays alive and sneaks its way into the main base.
Yeah, so far unscattered, we see a massive Warping of Zealots in the main base. This is a little bit scary because the Lurker Den is honestly pretty exposed. The Lurker Den could even go down as 2 Novas go off. Oh my god!
Shaves off just about half of the Lurker count there. Can he do it again? Not quite.
Not quite, but you know what? At the same time, we have a massive run by, but never mind. Overcharge is more than enough. Same with all these Immortals. Jesus Christ, Gerald, he is able to hold. Vanya trying to dive on top of them, but unfortunately not going to be able to pull it off. And now these slow lots are about to become charge lots.
Next stage of evolution as they chase down all of these stragglers, all of these reinforcements. Vanya even catching in the retreat.
Yeah, more Hydras get picked off. Meanwhile, the Lurker Den was able to survive. We do have a couple more Lurkers on the way, but so many of them have already fallen.
They really have. Vanya trying to very quickly morph a couple more in. Decent abducts, but even better feedbacks. This is such a good choke for the Storm, too!
Oh my god, 4 Storms go down, and every single one of them connects with the entire army.
Look at how red these Hydras and these Ravagers are.
And
that's not even counting all the Lings that died.
Exactly, and mate, if you thought that was good, we have more Storm where that came from. We have 4 more High Templar, 3 of them full of energy.
Just like so, zoning out just about every Hydra. There's nothing stopping Gerald from getting right on top of these Lurkers right now, and this is scary for Vanya. Lurkers are the backbone of his army. It's the only thing that can reliably keep Gerald back. He goes for a massive run by to try to get a recall, ideally.
Exactly. It's one of those things where Vanya knows that he can't win the fight. He cannot take on this army, so he goes for a counterattack instead. Gonna be able to try and take out a base. He does force a recall. Again, this will give Vanya a little bit of breathing room. We'll
see if that little bit is gonna be enough to charge. Let's flank the army to run by. This isn't even Gerald's entire army.
Oh my god.
Barely half his supply.
Exactly. Everything's gonna be cleaned up in the retreat. We do have 1 Lurker here, but the detection is not too far away. Meanwhile, the top right-hand base has been dealt with. G gets called.